Hey guys, how's it going? It's Friday, April 28th. Today is the day 38 on my 8-month journey to get to my 54th birthday in November and drop 54 pounds by then, get my abs back, get all lean, and kind of take control back of my life that has been kind of crazy since the lockdown pandemic and all the crazy stuff that happened to all of us. So I'm just finishing up. If you've been tuning in, you know that I have a shoulder injury that I've been working through, and it's been getting a lot better. Yesterday I did a chest and back workout and the shoulder felt great, and I went up in weight continuously every week so far going into my second month, and shoulder's feeling great. But I'm doing my final and third set of these external rotation banded pull aparts, and like I've mentioned before, this exercise right here alone has done wonders for my shoulder injury, my tear on my right, in it being able to heal and then strengthen the muscles, supportive muscles around it so that I'm able to press again. And I love the way this feels. Being able to work up to the harder band has been a huge change in my life. Today I'm going to be doing shoulders, glutes, and legs. I mentioned in the last episode that since I had that plantar fasciitis flare up again because I was trying to add more cardio, that I'm going to stop doing cardio and actually focus on putting in more strength training. So instead of 3 strength training sessions a week, I'm going to throw in 4 to 5. Definitely 4. I'm going to try to shoot for 5. My schedule's a little crazy. But in doing so, add in more legs as well too, because my plantar fasciitis doesn't flare up if I'm doing stationary type leg exercises, leg presses, hack squat, squats, hamstring curls, leg extensions, hip thrusts, all those kind of things, because of course my heel and my foot is fixed position, and I'm not pounding like if I were to do lunges or step up. So I'm not going to do those because I don't want to expand through my arch and flare up my plantar fasciitis even more. So today we're going to start off. I finished up my warm up for my shoulders, but we are going to start it off with some presses like I did last time, and some hamstring curls to get the hamstrings woken up, and then also kind of wake up the knees as well too. Okay. Day 38. Let's see. Start off a little heavier than we did last time. Oh. Oh, good. Okay. Whew. Back a little more. All right, starting off with the hamstring curls. Guys, I've mentioned before, I really like starting off with hamstring curls as I've gotten older, whenever I do leg day. For all you guys in your 50s, I just find it a much nicer way to start my leg day. My knees get warmed up. They don't get all crunchy. My hamstrings get engaged, so I feel more balanced in my legs when I go into squats after this and such, instead of it just going straight into it and feeling nothing but quads and femoral muscles. I like to get that squeeze at the bottom and hold for like a second on each one, just warming it up. I lost count, so I'm just going to shoot for like anywhere between 15 to 20. Strength has definitely been going up, so that's awesome. Again, we're doing this all, guys, with no TRT, no PEDs, no help but just natural food, natural supplements, protein shake, some vitamins. The electrolytes that I've shown in the previous episode where I was showing the electrolytes that I use, those have been a huge help. And then coffee. And if you recall, a big thing happened a couple of sessions ago. It might have been I think it was like over a week already, where I was able to wake up, come in, work out, get through my first superset, and not need coffee. And that was very epiphanous, because at that point, you start to realize my body's getting used to waking up and working out. It's starting to rev up your energy levels. It's preparing itself for the demand I'm going to ask of it. And that's a huge thing. When you're younger, I feel your body acclimates quicker to things of physical change, severe physical change. So I was expecting it not to happen for a little bit later, now in my 50s, but it's good. It kicked in. And I'll leave a note on one of the sides over here, so you can check out that episode when I started feeling that I had the energy in the mornings and that I didn't need the coffee to start off my workouts. It doesn't mean that I'm not drinking coffee. I still am drinking coffee because I need that caffeine through. But I just don't need it to get up in the morning to get here and then start working out, which is a huge thing, because before that, I always needed coffee in the morning. So we're gonna go up in weight. Let's see. Good. The first one, sore, because my shoulders are very sore from yesterday being chest and back. Now, in most cases, those clients that have trained with me for a while, people that know me, especially if I did like a chest and back the other day, I normally wouldn't do military presses, simply because so much of that is already worked, the area that is already worked with doing a lot of chest and back, right? You got the front delts involvement from doing the incline presses, a lot of rear delt involvement from the back exercises. But because military presses have been such a challenge for me with my injury, it's one of the things I want to focus on to be able to get those muscles in line and working properly. 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right, we're going up in weight on both of them. Awesome. Okay. Oh, okay, that's good. There you go. Hamstrings warming up. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Very nice. Oh. Taking a quick break. Guys, something to keep in mind. I'm on day 38, going on my 8th month journey. I'm feeling so much better now. My strength is coming back. I feel like my tendons and ligaments are getting tighter. They're getting more supportive. My muscles have much more synergy and pop to them. And I'm on day 38. I've been doing just 3 strength training sessions a week. Usually like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. This week, like I had mentioned in the last episode, I didn't work out for almost a whole week. It was like 6 days because work, life, Easter Sunday, my mom's birthday, all that kind of stuff. I also didn't eat the most cleanest this past week too because of Easter Sunday, my mom's birthday, that kind of stuff too. So it's not so much as a setback as it is, that's just life. You gotta work around life. You can't expect a perfect schedule all the time. You have to be able to move, parry, adjust with it, okay? And never let that slow you down. But I am gonna be doing the weights and working out right now for 3 days in a row, taking a break, and then next week is when I start my 4 to 5 workout program. And I'm gonna actually list it underneath in the notes on how I'm gonna structure it. And you tell me what you think about it. Leave some comments, some things you might change, or if there's anything that you like to do. I'm gonna be adding in legs, another day of legs, so twice a week, and then changing it up. One day will be more hamstring focused, the other day will be more quad focused and such. Obviously, I'm gonna do calves too. And then tell me what you think about it, okay? Good. Hey guys, how's it going? Good, good, good. Don't mind the cameras. I'm just filming my workout. Okay. All right, we're gonna do our last set of hamstring curls. Hey guys. I didn't realize Carrie was gonna train you guys this early in the morning today.
We just got back
Oh, where'd you guys go?
from Hawaii.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. What island? That's my home island. I hope you guys had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I wish I'd known you guys were going. I would have tried to set you guys up with something with my family over there, like paddle boards and stuff.
Oh, no, that's okay.
How long were you guys there for?
5 days.
Oh, that's just enough to wish you didn't have to come back. Shh. Oh. Okay, good. Okay, so first superset is done. I'm gonna set up for the second superset, and I'll turn the camera back on then. Okay guys, here, second superset. I'm gonna be doing some box squats banded. One of the reasons why I'm doing this, I know that the last time we were filming it, I was doing regular squats, but I realized that when I was down deep in the pit, very, very low, although my hip flexors are very flexible still from going into deep primal squats as a stretch every day, they've lost a lot of strength as far as the torque required to get up out of the hole with weight on my back and on my posterior chain. So one of the things I like to do is start doing box squats again. I like using the platform so that I can go lower and lower so that I get deeper into the hip flexors and force my hip flexors to get stronger and engage. And then also by adding the band over my thighs, getting more abduction to my glutes as well too. I'm gonna be supersetting this with dumbbell lateral raises now that I've got the military presses out of the way that I've been wanting to, and I went heavier on those. Even though it's just a little bit heavier than last week, it's heavier. So it's 5 more pounds and I'm fucking ecstatic. So we're gonna start off actually with squats. So my shoulders aren't burning when I'm doing them. And then I'll finish with the lateral raises. Good. Awesome, good. There we go.
We did skip stick day 1. 6 days. Day 2, we did sedation.
Felt good. Good. Yeah. All right, first set done. 3 sets total. Weirdly enough, right shoulder with the injury, feeling great. Left shoulder started pinching, which I almost started laughing because it's a perfect example of what happens when you turn 50, right? As you get older, 40, 50, 60. You'll have pains and aches that can start simply from sleeping on it in the wrong way, right? Happens when you're younger, in your 20s and 30s, but you just don't notice it as much. You bounce back quicker because you've got that elasticity in the muscle, in the tendons, and you're younger. But as you're older, holy shit, do you feel it? I wasn't expecting that, but we just work around it. If I have to adjust the positioning of my arms, shoulders, I will. But it seems okay for now. Okay, so that felt good. We're gonna make some changes. And I'm just gonna throw on 10 more pounds. All right.
Did so much paddling. Yeah, we our turtles sadly, but we could see pufferfish and striped fish, big fish, or something. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go heavier on the dumbbells too. Okay. Oh, God. I felt good. Left side started feeling better. It wasn't all pinchy, but I could still feel like it was a little strained. I'm gonna put these back, go a little bit higher in the next one. Whew. Okay, so that last set felt great. Adding a little bit more extra weight, I could definitely feel it in my hip flexors, in my core. So getting weight back on, as we've talked about before, is so huge for postural alignment, but for core work, for your body being able to handle that load, right? And that's huge because that's like getting extra core and ab work along with your legs. So instead of throwing on, let's just throw on another 10. There we go. Okay, guys, so for the last set of this one, I'm going to add another progressive step to make this a little bit more challenging. We're going to add a little bit more weight, but I'm also going to lower the platform. So by lowering the platform, it's going to cause my hip flexors to extend even deeper, make it work even harder to get my ass up, as well as make my core work even harder to keep me stabilized. Okay. All right, third set, here we go. Good. Oh yeah, I felt that. Exactly where I needed it. So if you notice, I was taking 2 breaths per every rep. One when I started in, hold the breath as I go down so that I brace my core to protect my spine and my ribs. And then I took the luxury of being able to take another breath when I sat down, knowing that I was able to take a moment to relieve that stress off of my core, take a quick breath, and then push myself back up. Normally, in regular squats, without doing the box squat, you wouldn't want to do that. You want to take in that breath, hold it all the way down, all the way back up so that you're completely braced and that your spine is protected, your organs, tendon, everything is nice and firm. But in this case, I'm allowing myself to get that extra breath. Also because I have to recondition my lungs to get back into holding a big, deep powerlifting breath. Not that this weight requires powerlifting, but breathing, but I have to condition my lungs again to do that as my body adapts and gets stronger, and I start to put more weight on because that's important. That's what's going to help keep you from getting injured. Okay, next talk, or less talk. Next item. Here we go. Third set. We went up in weight again. Just 2.5 pounds. Oh, that's good. Okay, second superset down. We're gonna get the third one ready. I now have that set up. See you there. Okay guys, for the last superset, I'm gonna be doing some hip thrusts off of the machine, doing some rear delts. Starting off with rear delts now because I obviously don't have to load anything on my shoulders when I'm doing the hip thrust machine. But something to keep in mind when it comes to rear delts, I never, ever, ever really go heavy on these things. I've noticed that in the past, when I was training them and when I train clients, if you go too heavy on rear delts, you have too many other muscles like the teres minor, teres major, all those other muscles back there engaging to help out, depending on the movement, right? The plane of movement. I find that if you go lighter with the rear delts, but you really focus on slow, steady form or kick in the repetitions, you get a lot more bang for your buck and you build that rear delt out. And that's just something I've noticed over the years. Obviously, there are some people who genetically, they do better with heavier weight, but most times with clients and myself, I do better with lighter weight. So we'll start off with rear delt flies, and then we're gonna jump onto the hip flexor machine. Okay. Oh. Okay, that's a good sign. I was able to do that without screaming like a girl. Not that girls have to scream really bad. But if you notice on the last time I did those, I think I went to 12 and then I had to take a pause. So all things considered, I went through all 15 relatively smoothly. So again, progress is the small things, right? Acknowledge the small progresses. Don't focus on things that you think that you should have accomplished by a certain time, because oftentimes those are false thoughts, okay? So as human beings, we have a tendency to doubt ourselves. Don't slip into those thoughts. Focus on the small progressive steps you're making towards your goal, and that'll fuel you to get there. Because if you sit there and you think, if I was to think, 7 more months to get to my birthday, flies like that, I have to take care of the kids, all this college, stuff like that, then everything can get daunting. Just focus one day at a time, small progressive steps. That's what's going to get you through this journey to the other side and successfully. Good. Guys, I think I'm only going to do 3 supersets today. So I mentioned it yesterday on the chest and back workout that I started my detox. It's called the Working Person's Detox. I'll also try to leave a link down below along with my workout schedule that I'm going to set up show you how I'm going to start it off next week. So you can take a look at it and comment, but I'm going to leave a link to like a Google Drive so that you can get the person's detox. So I'm on day 2. And what it is basically a detox that's going to allow me to drop a lot of water weight, very little fat weight, but I'm going to burn some fat too, and really kind of tighten up. My main reason for doing it is really get the inflammation out of my injuries, really kind of tone down that plantar fasciitis, because a lot of those things get triggered not only by our movement, but by foods too. And actually shrink my stomach a little bit before I start really focusing on cleaning up the diet. So for the past month, the way I cleaned up my diet is I didn't sit there and meticulously go over calories or anything like that. My brain just doesn't work that way, even though that's what some people like to do. I just take away things, small things that I can manage that make up huge changes in the future, like stopping drinking at night. I stopped drinking at night. Therefore, just doing that has stopped excessive calories, sugars from the alcohol, food from munchies because of that. And then just dropping that has huge dividends at the end, right? And then little things, right? Eating breakfast instead of waiting too late to eat breakfast, because I'm not doing any intermittent fasting. So having like hard-boiled eggs or yogurt and stuff, those are the like small changes, and just being more conscious, but not necessarily crunching down the calories and everything. So coming into the second month, when I'm done with the detox can go anywhere between 7 to 10 days. I'm on day 2, and we'll see how far I go. Let's see how much I drop and how good I feel. But I'm not going to go longer than 10 days. Let's see if I can make 10 days. And then from there, I'm going to start to really focus on my macros and the right amount of daily caloric intake. And then I'm going to show you how I calculate all that and how I come down with it. Okay, so second set. Let's go up a little bit heavier. Now, I'm not going to really focus on going heavy on this. I'm starting to feel the effects of being on a detox. So the first 3 days, your body goes through this really hard craving for carbs, all kinds of stuff, because I'm cutting everything down super low. So I'm starting to feel my energy dip a little bit, but I am going to raise some weight, but I'm not going to be focused on adding too much weight. Just at least throwing in some type of progression for the next set. Thank God the detox allows me to have black coffee. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, that's down. Yeah, I'm really feeling the depleted calories right now. But it's good. I'm not going to get to a point where I feel like I'm going to black out or anything like that. Just tired. Like, I'm really glad that this exercise, you're strapped in, because all I have to think about is activating my muscles and pushing and letting myself lower myself down. And I have very minimal room for error, so I don't have to focus on like stability and like lunges or whatever. I had weighted lunges, because I don't know if I could do those correctly right now. So this is a perfect, actually, combo to finish off the workout today, being low calorie and really heavily carb depleted. So, we'll start that last set in just a second. So guys, something I want to talk about on this journey, if you take a journey yourself, which I hope you all do, and use the hashtag ForgedAfter50 like I provided over there, so I can take a look at your journey, give you some free help, give you some guidance, some Q&A. In this journey, even if I get to a point where I can drop more than 54 pounds by my birthday, you kind of have to assess on whether you want to or not. And it might come to it where I don't want to drop the whole 54. I might want to drop 50, depending on how my body looks, right? So my body is doing great, and if I drop 50 and I feel like it's really tight in, I'm lean, I have good sized shoulders, the legs, everything like that, why drop the extra 4 pounds when it probably will end up taking away some muscle and then affect the symmetry? But again, that's just thoughts, right? Things that you have to keep in your head. Don't be just so goal focused on weight, because oftentimes, more times than not, that's never the true way of judging your overall health and strength. So when we get there, we'll get there. Here we go. That's it. A little bit too high. There we go. Oh, okay. All right, the way I progressively overloaded on that one was I tried to get a little bit more, 2 extra reps. But I don't know if you noticed, if you could pick up on the camera, because of the angle. The first 4 reps, including the first one that I was too high, the next 3 just didn't really quite feel right. I felt like I was a little off. I was raising my chest too much when I was raising my arms, when I should be dipping my chest slightly so I get a better contraction. And effects of the calorie, plus getting back into this, or the calorie deficit. And again, when you do a detox, don't do it for too long, right? You're gonna eat away at muscle. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking about 0.7 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight that I'm at right now, just to try to preserve as much muscle as I can. Why drop the caloric intake low and pretty much minus all types of starchy carbs. And again, you'll be able to see the plan. I'll have it posted on a Google Drive on this episode. So if you have any questions on it, post it up in the comment section. I'll answer them, and I'll probably do like a Q&A on it so I can answer questions for you guys. Okay, last set. You know what? Even though I'm tired, we're going to add just a little bit more. Not as much as I would want to, but in order to get progressive overload, we're going to add a little more, just 10 pounds more on each side, so 20 pounds. So remember, every set, try to progressively overload in one of 3 ways, right? 1, you can add a little weight, or a lot. 2, either add a longer pause, hold, or flex to the contraction or the deepest stretch. And 3, squeeze out a couple of reps. That's usually the easiest way. As long as you're able to get good form. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're able to get good form and squeeze out a couple more reps above what you're planning, that's an awesome progressive overload too. One of those 3 ways you should be trying to do on every set. And oftentimes I try to shoot for all 3 if I can, which is awesome. And guys, if you continually do that, you're always going to be growing muscle. You're always going to be in a good state. You're always going to be in a positive balance with your body. Is there a cap to how much muscle you can grow? Absolutely, of course. You're not going to always be able to grow muscle past whatever your genetic threshold is unless you're using PEDs or TRT. But I'm just saying, always try to add some type of progression to it and your body will stay strong and growth optimized. Okay, last set. Here we go. I just realized something in the talking and in the low caloric super. I forgot to add my band on. Funny, awesome, okay. So I added more weight, but I forgot the band. These things happen. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Going into my 2nd month. Again, next week I'm going to start to do 4 to 5 strength training sessions a week. I'm going to go ahead and list it how I'm going to do those sessions and target certain body parts. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it for next week and for a couple weeks with that schedule before I change it up again. And I'm also going to leave a link to my detox so you can take a look at it and see what I'm doing. If you have any questions or comments, leave it below. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching. You're keeping me accountable. 54 pounds in 58 months by my 54th birthday. And I'll see you tomorrow for arms and abs core. All right? Have a good one. Take care.